like the key to regrowing his hair. Because back in his days,
everybody can go to the Bosley
he was
Medical
pretty
Center.
much bald. Now he's got it pretty full.
That's transplanted pubic hair is what that is.
Everybody's favorite.
It's been thoroughly straightened.
He may have had straight pubic hair before.
That's true. You're right. He is European, right? So I
This
can't.
is South African. Is it? Yeah.
European by way of.
That's
He wasn't. His whole ancestry is not from Africa.
I mean, that then just becomes an argument of how far back do we want to run.
Right.
I get what you mean.
You go back far enough, we're all from South Africa, right?
It's
true.
80% whiteness in South
Yeah.
Africa isn't
Or just
overly
Pangea.
long.
Yeah, Pangea.
At that point.
Eventually, we're all Pangeans when
Oh,
you think
for
about it.
fuck's sake. We're not doing this argument, are we?
Yes. Clearly.
What?
It's one of those great dumb arguments
Yep.
because at the end of the day, it's like
It doesn't matter, but
not looking that far back now.
No.
It is a incredibly mundane alternative to hashtag All Lives Matter.
Yeah,
That's
basically.
what,
Yeah.
that's what bugs
Coexist.
me. I'm like, come on, man.
I'm pro coexist because that seems like there's
Yeah.
no base stupid assumption there. Unlike there's no willful ignorance in that. It's like just get along. Just get along.
Yeah.
As opposed to we're going to ignore this whole general section of racial experience and just say everything's fine, right?
We all came from the same spot, right?
Part of Republican strategy.
No.
Right there.
Yeah.
You cannot ignore yesterday to look back a year.
That and acting like just the mob
yes.
in public.
That's fair.
And not even Godfather level mob, but
Right.
The cheesy
wise guys mob. It's
the
the mob that you would
B movie.
the mob that you would see
C
in a
movie.
video game from the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Right.
That are tripping over themselves to be evil.
I'm and not even the mafia games because those are pretty decent. But
A little better, yeah.
Make sure to heat up the gabagool. I gotta go and punch this nun right in the face. Oh, that's the whole thing, right? I want to go burn down an
Eating
orphanage.
spaghetti with a gun.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I watched Wicker Man for the first time last night.
Which one?
The one with Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
He punches not one, but two women square in the face.
Yeah. It's incredible.
The drop kick isn't.
It's incredible.
Just being dressed as a bear for
Whatever, for no reason.
For any amount of time.
And they have such good act. I mean, Ellen Burstyn is in that movie. Come on.
I've never. That is so. I don't think I've ever experienced so much tonal whiplash from a remake before. There's the difference between that with Donald Sutherland's in the original one, right?
I never saw that one either.
Piere Delecto?
No.
No, I think it is Donald.
The 70s one and then the Nicolas Cage one is they might as well be. It's as if they took the original script, translated it into a different language, and then retranslated it back into English. And we're like, this is the same movie.
yeah,
My comment was that scene in the field where they're all standing around in the animal stuff. And
Yeah.
I said, do you think
Ed
the actors,
Woodward
as they were
and
gathered
Christopher
there
Lee.
before the camera started to roll, looked around and said, guys, I think we're in a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Edward Woodward.
One day you're in your hotel room cutting off your balls with a sacrificial dagger, and you think, holy crap, I'm in a cult.
Edward Woodward?
He's a face you would see, and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I've seen him." In
Oh, that guy.
things."
Yeah.
He was
That's me and
The
almost
Equalizer.
every actor ever.
Oh.
on TV.
Didn't he work with Bernstein to uncover the Watergate tape?
Close. Close.
That was Robert Redford.
Oh, right. Famed journalist Robert Redford.
That's one of my favorite Jeopardy moments. Bob Woodward was on a celebrity Jeopardy thing, and they asked a question about his book, and he got it wrong.
Well, I mean,
Ghostwriters.
you have a
sad.
storied fucking career. I guess you're allowed to forget a few things.
I mean, well, but when you think about it, it was really just one story. It was a massive, major story. But
sure. That's enough, though. if you break the one story, aliens exist. Like you can sort of sit back and coast for the rest of your.
When you write, I like
Rest on
big
your
butts. You don't have to write a follow up.
Although it's good to reinforce your trustworthiness by then saying that you cannot lie. It's physically impossible for you to lie.
Is it my shirt?
No, it's straight.
Got him. Anyway, so I guess we're doing this again.
Wow.
Well, I mean, we're all
Such a
here.
duty.
So the map's pulled up.
Congratulations.
Weird. Might as well
I'm
do
just
this
trying a
fucking
different take today.
Finally got a little man.
So this is where you tell us that we're playing Paranoia, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I would have just done it.
That's fair, yeah.
That would have been sprung at the least opportune moment. But
I still need to know what this is. It gets brought up all the time.
you'll see. One day.
When you least expect it,
When you
you'll
least-
find out.
Right now, you're playing the game. They're not telling you, and you're wondering what it is.
You're already
This is
It really is like
the pre-campaign phase.
yeah.
Yeah. So, last time that we were playing, you guys
did not burn down the building.
were successfully not arsonists, correct? But also you were tidying up Jessamine's sort of loose ends, right? She had you on the hook for the accidental, quote-unquote, arson of the House of Repose,
yeah.
right? And so you successfully investigated the disappearance of those poor children in the old city near the refuse pit. And then you successfully won. Actually, she won, but you guys successfully won in a kind of a group effort.
I mean, Wooks helped.
I got
nothing for third.
With no thanks to Quilgok,
Yep.
who is still running the race to the
Lowest racer to date.
For the cabal.
No obstacles for me because everyone left.
I am losing, therefore making me the victor.
I'm the last one standing.
You technically came fourth without it.
Damn.
Without even winning.
So late, all the traps in this shit.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that 500 yards up there.
There is a benefit. There's some benefit, right? So you won, and that netted you some prizes and a clean slate, ostensibly with Jessamine. And so your next step is to.
You got a free dinner with any merchant.
That's true. You do have a free dinner with any merchant prince,
I know, I need to figure out who I want.
The one who sells the Velociraptor.
but you can. You're now in a position where you have cleared that debt. You have experienced the city, and the time is rapidly approaching for you to
Leave the nest.
continue with the mission that you were assigned, right? That you volunteered for, which is to find the soulmonger and try to end the death curse. And so, accordingly, you guys have been getting supplies and everything, getting outfitted, canoes and rain catchers and insect repellent and all that stuff. You still lack, however, a guide. And that is an important step. So you'll need to get that before you can head out into the jungle. Right. So basically, the race has been run. It is the following evening, right after the festivities, and a lot of you are back at the Thundering Lizard, trying to enjoy yourselves. You've been offered a complimentary round of Tej for your victory.
Nice.
And you're simply, enjoying yourselves in the sort of the common tavern room, right, of the Thundering Lizard.
Do I know which merchant prince would be the best one to have dinner with to get a guide from?
To get a guide? Yes.
I know
you
Joe Ball was a
absolutely do.
wilderness.
Because there is one that is about the exploring, and then there's also the one
that's Joe Ball.
friendly with the harpers.
Ideally,
Wakanga.
Wakanga Utamu
It's Harper friendly.
is the Harper connection. Right.
But Joe Ball is the...
Jobal is the guy who knows he's the guy who's in charge of...
Like the
Guide
In charge is not the
sells
right
goods.
phrase. He deals in guides. Like, that's his whole thing. He has a stable of guides that he regularly employs and sends out amongst people, and that's his whole shtick as, one of the merchant princes. Yeah.
So I will suggest to the party that we...
That and
I
mercenaries,
dine-
sell swords, that sort of thing.
I dine with him.
Yeah, is this dinner open to all of us, or is it just like a
That's
nice
what-
little date thing?
It didn't specify on the certificate, so
Yes.
yeah.
I'll pass.
I would like a free dinner.
I don't know about you, but
You are a part of the same race team.
Yeah, okay, it makes sense if Wooks and I
you
go.
got second.
Hopefully, the
yeah.
invitation specifically says, "Do not
You got
burn down."
Do not bring Ruy Wooks.
Fire not allowed inside.
I mean, it makes sense if Wooks and I go.
Does it?
Or I could just go. Maybe I should just go.
That's up to you guys.
I mean, I could disguise myself if you would
Well,
like.
if you don't take him, he has to stay here with us. So
Perfect.
that's a reason for him to go. No.
As you were discussing this, a visibly sloshed Volo approaches you with a fisting with a fisting. He's
Fisting.
You approach this
He is two fisting mugs of Tej. And he approaches your table and he says, "Well, hello and welcome to the great warriors and racers and vengeance makers, and you are incredible, wonderful, and you've won a race. I understand. It doesn't matter. They're just handing these out."
I'm just gonna study it.
I
for
came
him.
in third.
Good for you. Third is an excellent place.
It was the top half.
Exactly, right? You know, you're at the top half, and
someone's making
it's
two people
unlikely that what's his name is going to, finish the race. So I think you're pretty much locked in.
Smash cut to outside.
It's just like right outside the building.
That's where you tried to eat his
Bathroom break.
Thank you, Volo. Is there something we can do for you?
Oh, no. I just wanted to give you my congratulations and wanted to remind you that, as your stars are inevitably soaring, perhaps in a moment or two with the Merchant Prince or the press, perhaps you might mention your old friend Volothamgedon and the invaluable nature of his Guide to Monsters that I know at least one of you purchased. That one, yes, you.
Want to explain that thing we found?
There was a creature not in your book that we found in the city.
Well, that's understandable. I'm
Don't worry, I made an addendum.
Good for you.
Do you actually know which one of us won the race?
No, nor do I care.
I came in third.
That's right. We've already established that.
Well, since we're old friends, we're looking for a guide into the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to add on to your book of monsters?
Absolutely not.
I just
I have
no way. Sorry, guys.
I have done a lot of preparatory research for the Guide to Monsters, and I don't need any more field work in an area where the undead are just sort of swarming the entire countryside, ready to devour your flesh in an instant. And they are actively competing with the dinosaurs for that honor. So it's all up to you. I believe in you. You're fantastic. You're all beautiful people. I hope you make it.
Oddly, there was no dinosaurs or undead in his book either.
Imagine there's just like
Or
wizard
snakes.
hats slowly lowering under the table.
Let's to your point of order.
Oh, Jesus.
To your point, the undead used to be regular things, so I don't consider them monsters. That's kind of prejudicial in a way, now, isn't it?
That's a good point. Volo has.
I came in
Thank
third.
you.
I wanted to have a point, but he's got a point.
Good for you.
I came in first, Wooks, okay?
Let's not brag about things like that. Ridiculous.
Well, I'm going to resupply,
Honestly, didn't you try to eat the second place's guy, Dinosaur?
and I hope I will
How's that?
see a lot of you again very soon. Preferably not undead or eaten by monsters, which are separate categories. Thank you.
Bolo.
Adios.
Oh, okay. He left. It's fine.
Thanks for running by the group that you wanted him to be our guide.
I was just trying
nice.
to get him to go away because I knew he didn't want to go.
Sure.
There's no way in hell he's going out into the jungle. Look at him.
He can't sell his books out there.
Exactly. Also,
Who's
look at him. He'd die in like 2 minutes.
I'm pretty sure I can keep him alive longer than that.
Okay, well,
3,
yes, by
maybe
himself. By himself, 2 minutes flat. How late at night is it?
How many afters is it an after party?
It's it's not a formal after party per se. It's just that you guys, after the race, and returning the dinosaur mounts and everything, and after everything was settled, you went back to the Thundering Lizard and you're sort of just enjoying yourself. So it's 8, maybe 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I will run by the stables and see if anybody's there.
Well, what stage?
The stable where Tracy is.
So,
Oh, you mean all the way over there?
Shit. Okay. Well, you didn't give me a chance to ask the stable guy after I gave him back Tracy how much she was.
That's funny. I failed to do that.
Yeah, I should be able to do that, and I'm not going to let it go.
No.
There's a dinosaur prince.
I mean, they're probably not
Sure.
actively receiving customers at the moment,
Fine, I'll wait till
so they'll
tomorrow
have to
morning.
wait till the morning.
You just don't want me to buy my dinosaur.
I don't know what you're talking.
I'm hip to your game.
oh, should we roll for fortune?
Oh, I guess we should.
Now would be a good time, yes. But do so with disadvantage because you're all a little wasted.
Drunk.
11.
7.
3.
4.
5.
My God.
We needed a 6 out there somewhere.
I got an 11.
I see it. Right on Leon's butt.
You don't want the dice if it's going up Leon's butt.
Another
13.
thing. Another thing.
Lucky 13.
Should talk to the doctor.
You don't have to do it with disadvantage?
He's not drunk.
I'm the
God's not drunk.
I'm the designated dungeon master, so
I mean, okay.
I'm not there with you. I'm not in the fiction.
I know that. But,
You are the
Now, if you're playing Volo in Volo's luck, it's like
I'm not playing Volo anymore. He left.
He's at triple disadvantage.
let me stop the game to explain the basic concept of
no,
NPC
keep
work.
going. Don't be sassy.
This is the fourth wall.
All right.
don't worry. If Lionel dies, I'm being an albino dwarf.
Are you really inspired by that
In
character?
real life?
An albino dwarf named Kanker.
He and Wooks
Just
don't
call
get
me
along.
Sore.
Okay.
I mean, it was perfectly set up. You're sore about the race.
Mm.
It's right there.
Okay.
Sore loser.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it's disgusting. Don't.
It's just herpes.
Well, I guess we'll drink some and
No, I mean
then go
you're
bed.
attempted. Yeah, it's disgusting. I don't care for it.
Never do it again.
Please don't. Yeah, please never do it again. Okay, so how will you while the rest of the time away?
I'm going to try to make the world a better place by sleeping with somebody.
That's going to require some charisma, obviously.
I'm going to make the world a worse place by sleeping with someone.
That's going to require some charisma, obviously.
Two very different goals.
19.
19? Very good. You spy a fairly chiseled-looking Chultan native, a man with sort of dusky skin and clearly a muscled upper body. You recognize him as being from the dinosaur taming field. One of the workers that accompanied and saw the race and came back to have a drink. The two of you are exchanging
Pheromones.
Looks?
Pheromones.
The two of you are giving each other bedroom eyes. It's very clear that.
I'm just drunk enough. I'll teach you a couple choice Chultan phrases.
Nice.
What did you get?
Oh, I didn't roll. I was kidding, but you know what? Here we go.
You said it. I'm sorry. We have
18 plus 2, so 20.
20. Okay.
Wow.
You are also you catch the sight of the same man, and the three of you are kind of locked in this weird.
I guess you're going to get a lot closer.
The next day, Emanuel and Wooks are avoiding each other's gaze.
This weird Mexican standoff.
Sexican standoff.
Please no.
Just don't roll it as
I came in third.
That's what they said.
Yeah. I'll be saying that the next morning as well, yeah.
So in between rounds of Tej and talking to his friends and everything like that, he's equally giving you the eye and you the eye.
I see that he's giving him the eye, and I passed.
It's beneath you.
It's for the best.
Good
Their
now.
taste is kind of poor.
Yeah.
Clearly.
The moment where you're like, oh yeah, they're kind of good looking, and then you see who they hang out with, and you're like, nope.
No, they're not. Never mind.
Wait a minute, those are all Nazis.
Those white hoods.
So this gentleman sort of saunters over and puts his mug of Tej down in front of you, and he leans over and whispers something in your ear. For the benefit of everyone else at the table, I will not say what that whisper is, but it is highly erotic.
So I hope Wooks is into dudes.
He's not, but this guy will steal all his pants money.
For pants? I can't afford pants anymore.
Yeah.
Pants money.
That was my special pants savings.
That was my whole pants budget.
And then,
I have a pants budget.
burn him in the morning.
Yeah. It's a smoldering man with no pants. You see, he sort of traces his hand along your arm and then takes your hand and starts to lead you upstairs.
Let's go.
All right.
Where you going? You don't want that one?
Wooks in the morning
If you
does
sleep, never
the
mind, you don't.
famous line.
You know
when
what?
You speak
She's
of this,
really much
and
prettier,
you
you
will.
know.
Be kind.
Yes.
And I'll point to like some redhead in the corner. I'm like, she's way prettier anyway. You should try to sleep with her.
Yes. That sounds like a good idea.
Guys,
That's the
have
most I've seen him
muscles.
sit in one place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a taste for each kind.
I'm good. We're discussing.
What about the rest of you?
I mean, we were discussing just
Sure. Yeah.
Birds, perhaps bees.
trying to console her for not getting to sleep with that man.
Probably going to spend some time just refreshing over the spell book. Spend some time journaling, reading some draconic poetry.
Yeah.
It's
I don't think
a
Wooks
it's a
likes
little difficult in
I don't feel bad
the
about
main room, given the sort of the din and so on. But you know that if you went upstairs to retired to your room, it would probably be a little
Yeah.
dampened at least.
After finishing the mug, definitely.
Yeah. So, does anyone else want to do anything before the night is over? Okay. Wooks, I'm going to need you to roll a sleight of hand check at disadvantage, please.
It's going to be
He's
a
very
con
close
save for
to
an STI.
That comes later.
That's yeah. There's still time.
9.
9. Okay. Given this gentleman's, we'll say, voraciousness, you are so involved in trying to sort of keep him at bay
Slash
the
busy.
entire night that you are unable to steal his pants budget.
Phrases you never think you're going to hear in D&D.
You get him, increasingly drunk until he is forced to sort of he loses consciousness. And then you are sort of left to the point where, now it's 6 a.m. People are walking around outside. It's incredibly unlikely that you're going to be able to get anything out of this guy without anyone else seeing or hearing it. So,
Did I manage to pick up anybody else?
well, make another charisma check for me, please.
Oh, that's much worse. That's a 12.
12. Yes, you did. It was the slightly. It was the slightly frumpier sister of the girl that you were discussing earlier with Ruby.
She might need more
It's
happiness.
slightly that makes it so
She
great.
needs a
Not
good
not we would say conventionally beautiful, but
Emotionally
she knew what she was doing.
I'm
So,
happy with that.
yeah.
That's a win.
Yes.
Careful, doggo.
Francis, you have to
Are you
pick
trying
one
to
lap.
just make your way over
What
here?
is your plan?
Francis.
here?
One
Yeah, let's
lap,
just.
Francis.
Here you go.
So the morning arrives. There are still so that counts as a long rest for everybody.
Hey.
Sweet.
Spells.
Oh wait, I'm fine.
Yeah, we didn't really take damage or anything last
Nope.
night. I just used the one spell.
So that reminds. So you go. You head back down to the tavern room. There's still a couple of hangers on. It looks like they either just slept in the common room and the staff was like, fuck it, or they had come in from like after a night shift or something. There is a scattered handful of people, but otherwise it's not the barren wasteland that it was when Jessamine's representative was coming.
Francis, stop.
So the whole day is ahead of you. What is your next step?
I will go
Head to the pens, we know.
Yeah, I was gonna go by the Merchant Prince's house first, and
Business before pleasure.
Dinner for breakfast?
no, I was going to present my invitation and ask if tonight would be okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to presume to just drop in on a Merchant Prince's dinner. That sounds like a dumb idea.
Well,
It sounds
well,
like it's
if I
like a
would've got
standing
the guy
order.
that
They
worked
all
at the
know,
pens, I
right?
would have put in a good word for you.
There you
If I would
go.
have got the guy that worked at the pens, I would have put in a good word for
I
you.
appreciate it.
I'm sure Wooks didn't.
No, I'm sure we'll try
I want my T-Rex. That's what
So I'll go by.
So you head north through town. You head to the Merchant's Ward area near Golden Throne, and based on some
Jobo?
helpful advice, you arrive at Jobo's mansion. Sure enough, there are similarly as with Jessamine, there are guards standing outside. They sort of ask you to halt. Not as sternly as Jessamine's guards did, but it's clear that they do take security seriously.
Sure.
Can we help you?
I'll speak to them in Cholton too. It's just easier.
You see, there's a little bit of relaxation there as they realize, okay, I don't have to speak in
Yeah.
this foreign tongue,
And I'll present them and I'm like, hi, I won the dinosaur race, and I did not want to presume to drop in on his dinner, but I wondered if tonight might be an acceptable time to take advantage of my winnings.
I didn't go.
You take the certificate. The left-hand one's looking at it. He sort of chuckles a little bit and shows it to the other guard, and he sees that, and he sort of excuses himself. I have to arrange this with Jobal. I'll be back momentarily.
Thank you.
And so he turns around and goes inside, and you are left outside with this one guard who's still like chuckling a little bit at just.
Ask how many people
Something.
can come to dinner.
Is it not okay to do this?
Sorry?
You're laughing.
Oh! No, I remember the joke.
What joke?
There were
He's thinking most people just take the cash prize.
Well, I did get the cash prize.
Oh, it was it's something my mother told me when I was
Don't.
young.
Don't bullshit me. Am I not supposed to do this?
No, it's the whole thing is. Look, I'm not supposed to say. Jobal thinks the whole thing is ridiculous. Everyone else thinks the whole thing is ridiculous. But if you want to have dinner with Jobal, fine. You'll have some nice food, and then you leave, and then you will never see each other again.
That sounds great.
Okay, well then, that we have no problem. So you're from here originally?
Yes.
Cool.
Very briefly tell him around like what area I lived in.
Oh yeah, yes.
That didn't
Perfect
so
for
bad.
him.
My grandma's from there.
Don't worry, you're not required to talk to me.
I think he knows.
I know. Just trying to be polite.
Appreciate it. After laughing.
I'm not laughing at you. I was laughing at the idea of having dinner with Jobal. Haha, funny. It's a joke we share with you.
I don't know Jobal, so you have me at advantage there, sir.
Jobal, he
Questions about Joe Ball or anything?
I don't
keep
know
making it
him
awkward.
he used to be an adventurer, but now he's soft.
Oh, okay.
You know, he enjoys his food and his stage, and he has a good time. You know, like if there was anything left of him that was, you know, I would have earned him that many scars. You know, I don't know where it is. He died long ago.
That's unfortunate.
I'm sure, you know, sure he's a still interesting fellow for your dinner, but well, you asked me. I say too much. You asked me my opinion.
Who would you pick if you got to have dinner with any of the merchant princes?
I would not go to dinner with any of them.
That's fair.
My likelihood of being immediately murdered would rise to 100%.
Sure. If you weren't a guard for...
If I want a guard,
Yeah.
what would I be?
I don't know. It's hypothetical.
But what else? I don't know what else I could do. This is the job I am best for.
Okay. I was just thinking if you were affiliated with any merchant princess and you got to pick one to have dinner with, who would you pick?
I would probably pick Jessamine, because that way I would know that she would want to murder me, as opposed to the others where there's still a little bit of doubt. Right? I would feel toyed with, but with Jessamine I would know I'm gonna die.
Is he going to want to murder me?
Jobal?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Probably. Maybe.
If you get between him and his stage, probably, sure.
I wouldn't dream of it.
You eat too many of his grapes. The door opens and you hear this. You hear this.
Best conversation anyone's had so far.
This same guard come back, and he's lacking the certificate, so he must have brought it in. He comes back. Jobal will receive you at 7 o'clock tonight.
Sounds great.
Be punctual. Wear something better than that.
Well, something. Please.
How about I just come naked?
We will refuse you.
I'll just turn around and leave.
That would be entertaining for the guards.
Black tie on.
As you are walking away, you hear the right-hand guard say to the recently returned left-hand guard, "If you want dinner with one of the
No, if you weren't guard.
No, listen. I'm curious.
Hypothetical.
I said Jessamine because, you know.
Shut up, Sayum.
I will, while I'm out, I will go buy some different clothes.
Get the fancy stuff. Take me with you.
I will stop by the inn and say, hey, I gotta go buy some clothes.
I need some clothes and then
And I'm
some
gonna go buy a dinosaur.
toddler-sized clothes for my friends.
Takde, you wanna come?
Definitely.
Alright, let's go.
Okay, so for fine clothes, of course,
Oy,
that is going to cost you 15 gold pieces.
whatever.
Can you cover me? I spent all of my money on magic.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a gathering.
It's a money sink.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
Takde certainly don't cost 15. He's tiny.
Get a gold
Takde
off the top.
still cost 15, not because of the
Tailoring.
I don't imagine he wears pants.
It's because of the material.
definitely
The
wears
material and the tailoring is most
Yeah.
of the cost. It's
That's
not really about the
Yeah.
fabric.
Like, they don't even have pre-cut stuff in Takde size.
Okay, so we will buy the fine clothing. And hey, Takde, I'm gonna head to the stables.
Sure.
Okay.
And just like following behind you
Great.
wordlessly.
Cool. Great.
So the two of you are heading to the dinosaur pens?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you head outside of the walls through Tiriki Anchorage and head back to the dinosaur pens.
Can get your new clothes all dirty.
I'm not wearing them.
Oh yeah,
Packed
hell
up.
no.
Just like seep through.
You see the familiar face of Allah, the stable master. He is lounging against one of the sort of fence posts, and he is smoking some kind of like long sort of looks like an herbal cigarette or something, some kind of like a the equivalent of a cigarillo, essentially, something that was hand rolled. Right.
As we walk around, I'm going to teach Takde Chultan, by the way.
Alright.
Just like slowly, like
Pick up on little phrases here.
as
and there.
like we're talking to the people and buying things and just like translating and telling you what words mean.
Every now and again, you'll get questions that are just like purely arcane or esoteric in nature.
Do my best. It's a thing. That's what you call it. I don't know. You just call it that. So I'll approach. Allah.
Oh, hello. Welcome, champion. It's good to see you all again.
Thank you.
I understand that it went excellently,
Yes.
and I'm glad to see that my charges, my beasts of burden, were returned with very little, battle damage.
Yeah, I don't think anyone hurt her at all.
Excellent.
Or yours?
Yours is fine.
No, mine fucked some shit up.
Might be missing a tooth, maybe.
How
Had to
much?
brush the teeth of it.
How much would it cost to purchase her?
Purchase to whom, my dear?
Jessamine.
The dinosaur I've rode.
Jessamine, what?
The dinosaur.
Yeah.
That you rode
Why are you looking at me like I have 3 heads?
in the race.
Yes.
She's breed stock now.
Well,
Probably.
it would be a considerable amount, I have to say. Not necessarily because the mount is, one of a kind, exactly, but because if that mount is then removed from the stable of participants that I have, my revenue source naturally decreases because I cannot rent, say, this steed out. I cannot use them for various sort of industrial or economic purposes, you understand?
Well, surely a man of your caliber can train other dinosaurs to take its place.
I could, but that is a cost of labor and time that I'm not necessarily ready.
Yeah, this is his
Hey.
champion dinosaur too. Like the value just went way up.
This is why you
I mean, the
weren't
T-Rex probably costs a lot
This is why
less.
Takde's here.
Just sitting there, like staring at the nearby meat cart.
Takde's moral support without any judgment.
The T-Rex probably costs less. That's all I'm saying. He likes me. It's cool. Whatever. I have animal proficiency. Whatever.
You're still upstairs, trying not to mourning the loss of your
Trying to get
pants
this guy's
budget.
arm off of me.
Playing a much more intense version of Don't Wake Daddy.
If the arm is the worst.
Don't
body
wake
part you have
leather.
to worry
Don't wake
about.
leather, Daddy.
Yeah,
There you go.
There are, of course, additional concerns. Have you purchased or attempted to purchase a dinosaur before?
Not since I was about 12.
Right. Well, the legal strictures surrounding the purchase of dinosaurs has inevitably changed since your adolescence.
You can just tell me no if it's not going to happen.
I'm trying to explain to you the difficulties. I'm not saying no.
Okay. What
It's
are
driving up the
difficulties
price.
A little bit.
Owning a dinosaur that you may utilize throughout the city of Port Nyanzara.
then? Oh, we're going in the jungle. We're not going in the port.
Oh, then I won't sell you a dinosaur at all.
Damn.
I won't allow any of my trained beasts to go out there and be slaughtered by some walking skeleton or some sort.
I don't plan to let anything happen to her.
I'm afraid I can only take your word for that, and your word is not putting money in my pocket.
Start sliding money.
I don't think we have that much.
I'm not. He takes a drag. Listen, I'm not unsympathetic. I understand.
you think you're not the first to show up with a bond with one of these dinosaurs. I've had purchase offers thrown to me before, but they are expensive and they are an investment. And I am duty-bound to make sure that these animals are treated well. And that includes not farming them out into the jungle to be eaten alive. Well, surely you understand.
All right, thank you.
Very well. And you, can I interest you in anything?
Not at the moment.
Well, it's been lovely meeting with you.
Takes this cigarillo out, stomps it out. It's already pretty thin, and walks back to sort of the main staple area.
I'll just go back and go over supplies and stuff for the rest of the day. Make sure we have everything we need to leave, except a pack mule, which apparently we can't get.
As we're walking back, there are alternate ways of acquiring a dinosaur if we're not coming back.
I was going to say, we're stealing a dinosaur now, aren't we?
And there's going to be a quick moment where you hear a couple of words spoken, a hand gesture made, and then Takde just disappears.
Takde.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, wait, take it.
You were already difficult to see beforehand.
And I'll just pat the top of where I thought your hat was. Just kind of
crumples a little bit.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, taller than I remember.
I will take that and I'll straighten it back out. I'll take that under consideration. I appreciate it. Thank you, Takde.
No problem. And just invisibly walk behind you the rest.
I'm still comforted by your presence, even if I can't see it physically.
How long does it last?
An hour.
Yeah. What about the rest of you? What have you been
Good
doing this morning and afternoon while Ruby and Takde have been out?
Making addendums to one of those guys.
of what kind?
He's going to love that. Well, the trash monster, I'm sure, is in there.
Adding the dinosaurs
Okay.
in.
Yeah, so I'm buying paper and ink and stuff like that.
So you're buying paper and ink.
I gotta get in on this, man. You gotta let me know. You gotta let me know.
A varying size, because I'll also be making a mech, so...
Alright.
Because I do have cartographer's tools, but...
So, looking at, goods and services, right? Looks like 10 gold pieces will get you a 1 ounce bottle of ink. And the seller is, the paper and the ink pen are silver pieces and copper pieces respectively. And so as a first time customer, he sort of throws those in for free.
That's nice.
So you have 1 sheet of paper, a 1 ounce bottle of ink, and an ink pen.
Cool.
What about the rest of you?
I believe that I'm going to make my way to the temple section of the city.
Okay, yeah, there are several temples sort of scattered around the city. They're not. There's not really a sort of concentrated ward for that, so to speak. But there are temples throughout. I mean, we already mentioned the Temple of Soon. That was in this general area.
Yeah, I'll be stopping there, but I'm probably going to go to Ilmater first.
Okay. To what end?
Basically, I'm trying to find information where a good guide would be.
Some holy water.
Not a bad idea.
Holy Tej.
Ooh, there you go. Divinely drunk.
I mean, I got a bottle of Tej. I can bless it, right? I'm a paladin.
I mean, technically, yeah.
Stick in your... That how
yeah.
I think it's a full
basically
ritual.
any information about the area, about
just like tea, just
the
like
jungle,
making holy water.
where the guides would be, any suggestions on supplies according to my mission.
Okay. So,
You head to the Temple of Ilmater in this area here, which is technically southwest, but it's in the sort of northwestern part of the northwestern part of the city, right? You see a clearly, again, the architectural design of this place is starkly different than that of the rest of the city. What you were seeing is sort of like the aesthetic of clay, stone, and palm fronds, and brightly colored murals and everything has quickly given way in this instance to marbled columns and like stark, almost sort of ascetic decoration. Inside, you see a male elf in what looks like some sort of a priest's sort of robe. Something simple, but from his neck, you can see has been draped a sort of a length of red cord.
And I do have a couple of visible holy symbols. One is Elmater and the other is Soon.
Okay. So he sees you approach and moves forward and extends his hand. Welcome.
Shake his hand.
How may we assist you today?
Yes. I am a paladin of Ilmater, and
yes.
I have been tasked with finding a cure for the death curse.
A heavy task indeed.
Yes, but I believe it is my way forward.
Yes. Well, with the strength of Ilmater, I believe we will persevere.
Yes. I was wondering if you could give me any information that would help me. Or there's information on local guides or customs, equipment I would need, any information about the jungle, or where I might find that.
Well, as a priest here, my only interactions with the jungle, as it were, are mostly with our visitors, people who come in seeking refuge or medical services or some such. So I know a little, but not a lot. I hope you will forgive my ignorance. I will try to help you as best I can.
Any information you could give me is more than enough. Thank you.
Well, I can tell you that I have seen many an adventuring party come through this threshold, bearing grievous wounds and the look of shaken souls. Many of them, when I spoke to them, were not particularly faithful people in that they didn't prescribe to, say, are in later or perhaps soon or any of the other sort of great gods. And that that made an impression upon me that faith is so incredibly important out there.
Yes.
Not only that,
You're the one who jumped out.
it's beyond practical concerns. I think you have to have an unshakable faith in your God and yourself in order to brave that kind of dangerous wilderness. Now, these adventuring parties I saw, they were equipped with, at least from what I could see from their beast of burden that had been put outside, were equipped with various supplies, food and water for many days. One party in particular had actually strapped a sort of some kind of boat of some kind to one of the beasts of burden. Small, shallow boat.
A canoe, yes.
Perhaps it was. Yes, some kind of long boat, if you will. I saw rain catchers as well. I understand that in conversation, it's not wise to drink most of the natural water sources in the area, the streams and lakes, because of the undead swarming the area, because of the possibility of dead animals and tropical diseases and so on.
Understandable.
It's dangerous, and so bringing your own water and replenishing those stores from the rain is vital.
Yes.
Let's see. One particular group, 2 weeks ago, in fact, came in and told me something that I'd never heard before, never understood before. Apparently, they had failed to purchase a charter of exploration, something that had been that was given out at Fort Belwarian.
Okay.
I'm not exactly certain where that fort is, somewhere in the sort of northern part of Chult, but apparently they had failed to purchase this charter before going on their expedition, and they were fairly swiftly chastised and punished by the what was the name of them? Now I remember. It was ridiculous. The Flaming Fist. This group apparently takes the sale of charters of expedition and their enforcement very seriously.
Thank you. That is very useful information. I was not aware of this.
So if you do decide to make your way out into the jungle in any form of exploration, any kind of expedition, then I would either advise to make your way to Fort Belwarian and purchase a charter of exploration, or to try to avoid the Flaming Fist at all cost.
Yes. Well, I'd much prefer to go by the rules.
Of course. Yes. That would certainly be the easiest way of
Yes.
sidestepping all that trouble.
Well, thank you for your time, and I give him like 10 gold as an offering.
Thank you very much. Praise be to Ilmater, and may he help you endure over the coming months.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
So we have a canoe. We've got a rain catcher.
From what I understand, you guys are pretty well supplied. You've got food and water.
Need a guide still.
You need a guide still, but you've got
We need some
canoe and rain catcher and insect repellent. Well,
Shit ton of
you have insect repellent. I don't know about
You got like 90 days worth of insect repellent.
We also need
80
a charter,
uses.
apparently.
All you. Yeah.
Yeah.
A charter. Have I ever heard of
Malaria will kill you, man.
Have I ever heard of these flaming fist people?
Give me a history check.
Well, I thought we knew him from Baldur's Gate.
No.
Oh,
They may be a
11.
different flaming.
They are headquartered
they're
in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are the
okay.
same one. Yeah, that's
Wow.
why I was thinking. It's like it's like if England
So what
went to
did
the
you
Congo
get?
and said, "Hey,
11.
we're selling
So you're
exploration
unfamiliar
passes." It's
with
not
their
even
work in Chult because you've been gone for so long.
selling them."
But as Tom so rightly mentioned, they are a mercenary company that's headquartered in Baldur's Gate, and apparently they have established a permanent stronghold here. Apparently, this Fort Belwarian,
Because we came from Baldur's Gate, right?
yes. Yeah, and so you know that they are serious business. You know that they are a regimented company. They take their work seriously, and they're usually hired as just straight intimidating muscle. They employ not only soldiers but also guides and spies and all manner of things.
How do you spell the name of this fort?
Belwarian,
yeah.
BEL.
You can see that.
UARIAN.
Okay.
And you can see on the map here that you have this map, right? You don't have this fill
I have
section.
2 copies.
But it's there in the sort of the northeastern section, due that way, Port Belwari, and it looks like we're looking at about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, about 60 miles northeast.
That's it. Like 2-4 day trip.
Yeah.
Depending on terrain.
Well, in a day, if you're going at a normal place, you can move about a hex per day, which is about 10 miles.
Okay.
So yeah, you're looking at about
that's like a week.
probably 6 days.
Yeah.
You can, of course, go faster or go slower, and that will obviously change your time.
Would it be quicker to go by
sea.
sea? Yeah.
Actually, if you
Yes.
if you got on a boat, or if you were able to find some kind of decently sized water main, some kind of river or stream or something like that you could use your canoe on, that would be faster. Yes. Because even though this part of Chult has been, for the most part, charted, right? There's still quite a lot of
It's not like
nature to hack through. Yeah, it's not paved. It's not civilized in that sense. So you would have to push through it, right?
trailblaze a little bit.
In the same way that if you were going through the Cloakwood or anything like that, you'd still have to bring supplies. You still have to know where you're going and all that stuff. It's the job of a ranger rather than a cart driver or something like that, right? You need somebody to orient you.
Alright, so after that I go to Temple soon, basically ask the same questions, maybe the best way to get to this fort.
The port. Yeah, I guess it is a port.
Okay. So you go to Soon. The Temple of Soon is actually one of the places that fits in with the sort of bright, sort of colorful aesthetic that Port Nyanzaru has, because they are...
By the way, not only do I have an open symbol dedicated to Soon, I'm also a very beautiful redhead.
Of course, yeah, makes sense. Yeah. So you head to this area. You see that there's all manner of sort of bright, rich colors, tapestries hanging. It's clear that they take the beauty and power of the aesthetic, first and foremost here at this temple.
Yeah, I know how they work. I spent my acolytes there.
Let's see. So you head inside. You talk to some of the not novices. I'm trying to think of the right word. Initiates of the order there, and they tell you roughly the same thing that the priest of Ilmater mentioned, saying that you'd have plenty of water and food, don't drink from the streams, that sort of thing. They also mentioned, however, that their own encounters with adventuring parties have been a little fewer and a little farther between, surely because the Temple of Soon is not somewhere that a wounded adventurer would necessarily head to right out of the gate. It would be there sort of a couple of choices down, per se. But they actually explain to you that there are these strange nature spirits, these weird little kind of elemental creatures that wear masks. That's what they've heard from these adventurers that have come by. They don't speak, and as far as the adventurer was concerned, they didn't appear to be harmful. But apparently, based on what the adventurer saw during this expedition, they have some kind of potent magical power that he advised the initiate shouldn't be taken lightly.
Okay.
Yeah. In addition, one of the other initiates mentions that there was an attempt not too long ago to try to cleanse the jungle of the undead. Apparently, the Order of the Gauntlet came to try to do just that. And they lost one of their encampments not too long ago, and they were forced to actually retreat and set up a new encampment. And they're sort of, from what this initiate heard, they were sort of barely hanging on.
Well, I thank everybody for their info, and I also give them gold pieces as an offering.
They gladly accept, and they give you some complimentary sort of colored powders that you can apply as a kind of a rouge or a blush.
Yes, I thank them for that.
Get some of the local color.
Literally.
Yeah.
I think I've got enough
I found his
information
preferred
to
lab.
return and wait for me to...
The perfect
Okay.
lounge position.
So, Lyonel, you've been putting in addendums to Volo's Guide to Monsters. Piere, what are you doing?
I don't think anything.
Slowly sharpening your blades
Yeah.
in the corner.
I mean, what? Okay, well, that's yeah.
I'd suggest we at least meet with Wakanda, maybe, if he's our Harper contact.
Wooks. What are you doing this?
Before we get up, he may have relevant
I'm
information.
I'm just getting
Just
out
where
of
to go.
this guy's room, coming down, realizing that like, oh shit, everyone has left.
You see, almost everyone is gone, with the exception of Piere, who is using a leather strop to sharpen a dagger.
So I just plop,
Singing gently to his weapons.
plop down
Not
next to Pierre.
Perfectly normal.
By the way, you only have one short sword. Remember.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have to pick up another one while I'm not with
How was your night?
Better than yours.
Where'd everybody else go?
Start rattling off where everybody went.
So
Getting bitey.
we just waiting here for them, or
He's just tilting his head back and
Being adorable.
trying to lick my
okay.
fingers.
So I just ordered breakfast then.
Sure, yeah.
Sir, it's 2 in the afternoon. We're done.
I came in third place and was told I get one free breakfast. I don't know who told me that. No.
So, roughly mid-afternoon rolls around. It's about 2 o'clock. You all reconvene at, or remain where you are, at the Thundering Lizard. Then you see that the place, over the last few hours, more people have come in. It's gotten a little bit busier, not to the point of raucousness that you're used to during the evening hours, but it's fairly lively. There are people drinking and eating. Some people are playing sort of card games and games of chance with dice and so on. And as a lot of you convene and take a seat at sort of your traditional table, we'll say. What's everyone's passive perception?
14.
13.
16.
16?
13.
Anyone higher than 15? Except for...
Robertson 12.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I got like $12.
So, Lyonel,
I'll see what I can do.
Lyonel, you see in the corner of the room, just trying to be sort of not in a wallflowerish kind of way, but in a nonchalant way, around some people, but clearly off by themselves, sort of only with a group. It seems by association, not like close, intimate
Someone's
conversation.
like sharing a table
Yes.
accidentally.
Yes. You see a female half-orc.
In Thieves' Cant, I'm going to say, I think we have someone.
Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry.
You're okay.
We have someone who's trying to keep themselves quiet, but a little obvious that they're not. That they're alone, but
You speak thieves' cant, don't you? Okay. What the fuck did he just say to me?
So we're having a normal ass conversation about the weather, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a second, there's something more here.
Why do you care about the weather all of a sudden?
And in this depth.
I mean, we're in the goddamn jungle. What?
I know, when it's like a tornado out, when it's just raining all the time, it's kind of weird.
Wink. Audible squish noise. Wink.
This isn't about dinosaurs, so you've lost her.
You get back just completely in common, just to, okay.
Is there something you're trying to tell us? It's not actually about the
It's in
weather.
thieves' cant, so we don't know what they're saying anyway.
I know, but like, the conversation is weird.
I try my best to just like shoot a glance over towards that group, and like that's it in terms of the attempt of communication.
I just kind of follow Takde's eyes, and what do I see?
You see, sure enough, a group at sort of a corner table, and then behind them is a female half-orc in leathers, sort of resting in a corner of the room, and very clearly observing the lot of you.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, that weather. Okay. Weather.
How about them Yankees?
Escort of yours for tonight's dinner?
Not that I'm aware of.
You know, escort.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that, but I don't know that I'm aware of. And Wooks, no, we're not talking about you.
I am.
Oh, Piere always is.
Just wanted that free dinner.
And I will relay
It's the best
what
prize.
I learned at Jobal's mansion, that no one takes these things very seriously, and
So we can all go, right?
there's probably not even a point to me going, but the fewer people go, the fewer possibility of us wasting our time.
Yeah, you heard her. Just her and me.
I'd say then we tried to at least make contact with the other merchant prince who has
I think that's a good idea.
ties with the Harpers.
You guys want to go try to talk to Wakanga?
Because we don't know where in the jungle we need to
Four
go.
of you?
Sure.
Yes.
Wooks,
Yes.
you have to have fine clothing to come with me tonight.
Sure, go buy me some. Let's do this.
No.
Look, they're trying to be polite. Have you ever heard the expression "turd in the punch bowl"? That's what they're trying to avoid.
Yes. It's a good thing, right?
I think you are better utilized at Wakanga's.
It's the spike in the punch bowl, right? It's very literal.
Will there be food at his place?
Look, why don't you,
Probably.
God, I don't want to suggest this. Alright, I gotta ask a question. If I suggested that he tried to secure funds for...
For the expedition?
Yeah,
Yeah.
would that go against my code?
I think so.
I mean,
You're not telling me to steal. You're just saying
true.
you're like go
But
get
you
a
know
job
the-
for an hour.
But you know the implications.
it's questionable because of the
Yeah.
implications.
You know his preferred line of work.
You
You're in the
know,
middle of nowhere.
And you know how successful I am.
you wouldn't be your god wouldn't strike you down right there. But if the god was there, they would give you a look like,
Really?
come on.
You're sending him to earn
Yeah.
money?
I mean, I'm pretty good at wooing people, apparently.
Apparently.
Just can't woo him out of their money, though.
I start that, and I have a second thought.
Don't finish the sentence.
And
Well,
I think that's still you suggesting it to me. If you suggested to someone else to suggest
He's
it.
just passing the buck. The god doesn't know.
we have secured the support of one merchant prince.
God can only hear if I speak above a whisper.
Jessamine has said that she would support us after we won. That would be in her
With
interest.
me.
She did say that you would have
even with the four of us.
quote unquote
That's
support.
inside.
Jessamine did from
Potentially.
her meeting with you.
I mean, I suppose somebody who's
That's what we
actually
do.
seen and spoken with Jessamine would be the one to go and talk to her.
So that would be Lyonel.
Yeah.
Not at the moment, no. God damn it.
I mean, if we do have that victory, it's worth asking what that support means. And especially now that we know about these Flaming Fist people, maybe there's a conflict between the locals and the colonials. Maybe we can
ignite a revolution.
The Flaming Fists.
In a way.
What?
Are an unwelcome.
Yeah, it's a mercenary company from out of town decides who gets to, explore the jungle. That seems like something the princes would love to put an end to, had they the...
Unless they have the support of a certain merchant prince.
That would be good to know.
And who has the most pull?
She might have the information of which prince that they've gotten the backing of.
Yes, and if it happens to be her, then at least that simplifies that, and maybe we can get a good bit of favor before we...
We should find out more about the situation. I think that's a perfect job for you, since you're very charismatic.
And deceptive. You're just trying to get me killed all the time, aren't you?
Indirectly. No.
I just don't think she likes you very much.
With good reason.
I have not stolen anything yet.
You've only...
Successfully!
Yeah, successfully.
Lyonel, do you feel comfortable going to Jessamine's by yourself?
If you need backup...
Takde, you could come, and then we could try to swing by other merchant princes before your dinner, but... At least if I go, then a familiar face.
And perhaps under the pretense of letting her know we No, she's gonna know we won.
Yes, she knows.
Yep.
There's no pretense.
Yeah. And then she'll be pissed that why didn't you bring the winner to me? Not this third place rub.
That's why we're not bringing you.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You're not going anywhere near Jessamine.
Yeah,
You look at anybody the wrong way, they'll just kill you, Wooks.
Thank you for making that excuse for us.
Didn't she specifically say that she wouldn't see us again, no matter what happened?
Do I recall her saying that?
I definitely don't recall hearing that, so...
There was a threat that if you did not successfully win the race,
We would have some trouble.
that you would not see her again.
Yeah, but we did win.
But you did win. So everything should be kosher.
Now, whether we can actually see her or not is completely up to her.
Yeah.
Well, of course, yeah. It's, you're at her mercy at that point. Yeah.
It is likely she won't even receive this. But if you want me to go with you before the dinner...
It's, I guess, the question of if we want to try to curry her favor, and then if she gives us a favor, then she'll probably expect more in return.
Yes. Also, I do not want it to appear that we are going around to every single merchant prince trying to curry all their favors. I don't think that will be looked favorably upon by any of them.
Well, at least certain ones who hate certain other princes.
They all hate each other.
I mean, I suppose if we're at least outright with it, some of them may appreciate that.
I think we're better off picking one or two. We're already friendly with the the Harpers, correct?
Or the Harpies.
So it would make sense for us to go and try to curry favor from the Harper-friendly merchant prince. And I have chosen Jobal because he is known for knowing guides. I might not get anywhere, but...
As interested as I would be in Wakanka and his control over spellcraft in the city, I'm not sure if there's as much he can offer, especially in comparison to Jessamine.
Alright. Then I suggest we stick to Jessamine and Jobal then. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to try to curry favor among all of them and get
Agreed.
shut out by all of them. Make sense?
And I suppose Jobal, all we really need is the guides.
Yeah.
After
And I might not
that,
get anywhere.
Simple transaction.
He didn't seem to take it very seriously, so...
So
I might not
business may be easier to talk than you think. Who knows?
Maybe I'll just...
It'll get him extra grapes.
Maybe I'll just, like, I don't know, leave a couple buttons unbuttoned and try to get him drunk or whatever.
That sounds like that would work better with Wakanga, to be honest.
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean, Wooks could do that too.
That's true.
I'm a master of disguise.
I'm not particularly
Dana Carvey.
charismatic. Well, let me see how this dinner goes, I guess, and
We'll see if Jessamine is interested in hearing from us. I suppose we need to lay out what it is we would be talking about, which would be Flaming Fists, and further talk about making our way into the jungles. And
see if she has any information of, like, where we might try to explore.
Or if there's anything she would be in need of a favor of out in the jungle. I'm sure in the city it's quite easy to get people to act on her behalf, but out there, if it's as dangerous as people say it is, maybe we're a little bit easier to come by in that way.
Plus, what is it? We have to get a charter
Yes.
to explore and a guide.
What was suggested was that if you didn't get a charter of exploration from the Flaming Fist at Fort Bilwarian, they would severely harass and punish you, basically. Yeah.
Kneecapping
Yeah.
and the like.
Protection money.
Yeah.
Racketeering.
And if we can figure out where Jessamine fits in that, maybe we can break the blackmailers or get in a good word with them.
Politics.
Yep. Politics. Sounds like a plan.
okay.
Whenever. I'm ready whenever.
All right.
I don't know. I'm just for sticking with the rules, but okay.
Just reach out and just crush his neck.
You gotta reach. That's the problem.
Specifically.
So what is the formal plan? Right now it is, again, it's sort of mid-afternoon.
Someone to chase him.
You're there inside Thundering Lizard. You've got this half-orc woman eyeing you.
Well, I guess if some of us leave, I want to see if, like, if she follows or what she does if we disperse at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if we
'cause I have
split
to-
up.
I have to get ready. I have to actually, like, get dressed and...
Yeah, I'm definitely getting into the fine clothing before seeing Jessamine.
I have to go get fancied up, so I'm not leaving right away, but...
If
So
you
I'll
need to
probably
pick
head
up
upstairs
clothing,
to get ready.
we could zip over there first or afterwards.
I mean, she wasn't impolite about my dress last time. But I guess
Yes, but you were there on her beck and call. This is us coming calling.
True.
We should, I suppose, at least try to look the part.
If you know a shop.
Oh, yes. Went to one earlier this morning. Put on your temple finest.
I mean, you guys can probably use the same tailor.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe not even have to change the measurements.
That's a good point.
I won't tear the clothes as much with all your scales.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have to worry about a tail hole, so...
I don't think so.
But my shoes have to be quite a bit bigger, though.
Oh, yeah.
What are you trying to say?
He's a halfling.
But not in that respect. He's a foaling down there.
Oh, boy.
There it is.
Things I don't need to know.
A doubling?
Jesus. Alright, so you guys are going to get dressed all fancy and go to Jessamine?
I guess so.
Is that just the two of you?
I think so. Nobody else is...
So Lyonel,
I'm joining you for dinner. So
Lyonel and
Same.
Takde are headed to Jessamine's,
Yeah.
and then Ruby, you are preparing for tonight's dinner with Joel.
I mean, unless Emanuel wants to come with, I have no intent to deceive her. And honestly, I would like to have cards on the table as we talk about this. At the end of the day, at least I would be willing to admit I'm attempting to use her assistance to help solve the curse.
It's just a dangerous place to take you.
Yeah.
Potentially, yes.
Isn't every place, though?
Not necessarily.
No.
Temples are fine.
Yeah.
Bathhouses.
Well, some temples are fine.
Fair point. I'm gonna strangle you for a moment. You okay?
Can you breathe?
He never seems to know quite what he wants.
No. He wants
doesn't.
attention all the time.
I mean, I am charismatic.
Charismatic.
Yes. But I don't think I'd fare too well negotiating with an assassin.
I think she would almost prefer your candor. She would presumably assume your positions.
Very well. So I guess I'm going with him to get fancy clothes.
So Emanuel, Lyonel,
Team Fancy
Takde.
continues.
Okay.
I will sigh and tell you guys to buy some for Wooks.
Oh dear God!
Wait, are you serious?
Then we have to get.
Pierre, are you going to either of
No.
these fancy galas?
No.
Okay.
I will
I want
hand you
plausible
the.
deniability.
I will hand Lyonel the 15 gold, point at Wooks, and go.
No,
Go
he's going.
now.
He's getting his
Hurry up.
clothes.
For the dinner? Ooh.
I don't know yet. Just go.
Heading out to buy fine clothing, which is 15 gold pieces a piece for the set.
Man, I had a perfect 1,000 after the ink.
Actually, you know what? I will hand I will hand Wooks the 15 gold and go buy fancy clothing. If you choose to buy something else with it, then you're not coming.
Ooh, that's harsh.
Bam!
Can he do it?
I can't erase my left hand.
You step outside and immediately somebody sees somebody playing the shell game, and you're like, oh no!
See if I can write with my left. 9.
Should be interesting.
That way it's up to you. You can either keep my gold or you can come with me.
Are there any poison shops around?
See, I think the choice is
Just
It's
I
more
just want to.
expensive than 15 gold.
I just want to price. I have some gold, some gold as well.
So you head out to the same clothiers. You purchase your fine clothes set for 15 gold pieces. And you now look the part. You are ready to...
Leon!
You're ready to attend a dinner or a negotiation. Whichever ends
Well,
up
the
happening.
fine clothing I use the makeup.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
perfumes. But
Definitely get
layered.
like a signia of like a tiger and a puma in a track.
Nice.
It's like my family crest.
They don't have that.
I embroider it on.
Okay.
So it looks kind of like a cat by the time you're done.
Okay. So, first things first, the party that is heading towards Jessamine's. Because, yes, I'm assuming you guys are going
Earlier.
you know, as soon as possible,
Yeah.
rather than waiting for, say, nighttime like the Jobal guests are. Okay,
Are we being followed?
Oh yeah.
so 4 of you left, right? You. So Pierre stayed and Ruby stayed behind, right?
Wooks is...
Wooks went to get clothing,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Supposedly.
So are you coming back, or are you following them to Jessamine?
Is there a poison shop nearby? just checking.
Yeah.
Just for curiosity's sake.
Actually, it's in
Definitely don't want to kill
district.
anyone.
Yeah. We're gonna lose him so fast.
I would like to walk in and just
Peruse?
just
Window shop?
just
Some of your finest poisons, please.
just wait for someone to be like, "Can I help you, sir?"
There's a gnomish looking fellow. He looks that way because he's a gnome.
I speak no man. This is perfect.
He with sort of like heavy furrowed eyebrows. Can I help you, sir?
Yes, let's get to the point. Odorless, tasteless, mixed in with a drink.
Totally can't be traced back to me.
Iocane powder.
100 gold pieces.
I'll see you tomorrow.
And scene.
Some great NPC interactions today.
You do
But I say it in gnomish.
Right.
You do know that he's going to probably report that to Jessamine.
Meh.
Are you okay, dear?
Anyway.
Do you want something else to drink?
I go and buy the clothes and then head back to the Thundering Lizard.
So if you don't mind. So,
Maybe
all right. So you are going with.
Yeah, I went and got the clothes and I head back to the Thundering Lizard.
Okay, so you're not going with them. Would you go, Jessamine? Sorry. So as soon as you guys picked up and left to get the fine clothing, you saw that same half-orc woman. At least a lot of you that are still at the table. There was about 15 seconds. And then she got up and sort of casually went over to the bar, looks like paid her tab, and left. Now, for everyone who is going to Jessamine's, give me a perception check, please.
Since I have noted her presence before,
5.
any advantage or
No.
okay?
12.
I'm too low to the ground to notice.
20. Not
Everything looks like
Not
knees
that.
to you.
Yeah, it's all knees. Are those
Flipping
green
down
or gray knees?
Just glad it's not butt side.
Okay, so what did you get?
12.
12?
20, not natural.
What about you?
5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. So you notice pretty clearly, Lionel, that this female orc is shadowing you. She is staying a considerable distance behind, about 10, 15 feet, and she is essentially... It doesn't look like with any particular menace exactly, but she is clearly shadowing you, following you, seeing where you're going and what you're doing.
Especially if I still spot her after we get our clothes. I'm going to say we've still got a storm front behind us. Do we wish to head towards the front, or before we
I look up at the sky and like,
go to the shelter?
It's clear as day.
I just reply back in Thief Camp. Harper's or Jessamine.
Oh, I see. So it's canon that apparently Thieves' Cant is all weather.
It's all with.
Okay. All right.
Clearly,
Fair.
mine has been like subtly laced with the verses of draconic poetry.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. So you're getting like high pretentious poetry thrown at you, and you're just picking up the little pieces where you're like, okay, this is what.
Yeah, because we
actually-
would have to
Yep.
like kind of
Most of it
Set
most of
piece.
it boils down to, man, it's cool that I can spit fire.
Spit hot fire.
Dylon.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So do we want to find a dead end and confront, or do we
Shiver.
really?
If we're followed to Jessamine's, we'll know the answer.
Emmanuel's clear. What the fuck is clear confusion?
Weather conversation, dragon poetry.
Dragon poetry. Cool. Do you want one of these words?
We're trying to figure out where we're going.
We're going to Jessamine's, are we not?
Yes, but the street ways.
might be a detour? Closed road.
Why would we go to a closed road?
Apparently, we have a barfly behind us.
I get that. You know, I didn't bring any weapons because that seems like a bad idea.
Same.
Well, you have magic.
It's true.
Did you come on?
I always have my signature weapon on me.
The pen.
It is mightier than any sword.
Haven't you seen Born Identity? It goes straight through a hand.
Fucking pencil.
It's also true, John.
Well, we could do the classic three-way split and meet back up at Jessamine's.
Okay. Let's try that.
Sounds good. A quick cadre of magical words, and yet again, Takde disappears.
You know, I look at him and go, you know, the whole three-way split thing, is the idea to give her 3 targets, not 2 targets and 1 invisible one.
That's a good point.
What a dick!
She's going to follow one of you.
Yep.
But it's a really cool spell.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully she follows the invisible one.
Okay.
Come on.
So, good luck. So, you guys decide to split up. You essentially take sort of different paths heading towards the Merchant's Ward to Jessamine's villa. And you realize, Emanuel, now that you were keyed in by Lyonel's sort of pointing out that, yes, sure enough, this person's following you, you realize that she's following you now, specifically.
Damn it.
The choice is yours.
She is sort of moving slowly but deliberately in throughout various sort of crowds, sort of snaking her way through, drawing closer to you by the minute.
Mm-hmm. Is there like a side alleyway that I can quickly duck into?
Yeah, there are a couple of sort of side streets, yeah.
So I'm going to do that, and then kind of just get in the alley, then prep an action to grapple her if she comes in.
Okay. So you have turned into this corner in this alley, and you are waiting to see if she will follow, and in that case, you will grapple. Okay. So you wait a few seconds. You can hear sort of the conversation of crowds walking by and everything. And then a moment later, sure enough, you see this woman start to turn the corner.
I grab her.
Okay. She immediately reacts, sort of tries to grab your wrists, and the two of you are now struggling. I need you to make me an athletics check.
The Kirk versus Spock music starts playing.
Oh, that's horrible. I want to re-roll that.
Okay.
Much better.
I will spend one.
The fight is on.
Who will win?
The trade is complete.
Okay.
20 quad
24.
Okay. So you managed to sort of, because you had the drop on her, you managed to sort of overpower her, and you now have her in sort of an arm lock.
Ooh, nice.
Half Nelson.
So
All right, enough.
I ease up on the arm lock, but I don't let go. I'm like, what is your purpose?
That's a big question. I'm here to look, just to observe.
For who?
It's none of your business.
Understandable. Since the answer would get you killed, most likely.
Exactly.
Yes. And your job is just to observe.
I'm to see what you people are doing and report back from my employer.
Well, let me help you out there. I am on my way to Jezebel's Mansion to give an audience.
Thanks.
I didn't intend to be secretive about it, so...
Well, you have to understand, in this place, there's eyes watching eyes, you know.
Okay, well, you're free to follow me if you wish. I'll let go. I know.
That's a good arm you got.
I work out.
Yes.
Look out.
And I just,
Ask for his number.
It's a her.
Sorry, ask for her number.
Doesn't change the basic premise.
and I
Jake's hat.
moved to leave, and then I turned around and was like, you know, if you're ever at the Thundering Lizard, and what if you
If you want
make
some
the
more
world a better place?
personal information.
Come see me.
She kind of gives you sort of a light laugh and a smirk.
Tossing her hair.
Okay.
And I bid her farewell and leave.
All right.
Yes. Just walk hand in hand.
No. Because then they would get killed.
You realize soon after, in the next few minutes as you're making your way, that you don't see her. And a lot of you converge on Jessamine's via. Well, 2 of you do, and then
I'm just like waiting there.
And then suddenly,
out of nowhere,
a kobold appears. You actually see one of the guards visibly recoil at this.
Fancily dressed kobold just shows
Kobold's
up.
popping out of nowhere.
You see this guard actually sort of lowers his spear at you.
I would have done that.
Who is that? What do you want?
Takde.
Oh, okay. Tells me nothing.
You asked.
That was the answer to the first question. He hasn't answered the second one.
Please calm down.
When in the history of calm down has someone saying calm down help?
Very true.
Fair
point.
But we are simply here to seek an audience with your mistress.
You do not have an appointment?
No, we don't. However, we recently did some work for her.
I know who you are.
That makes sense.
This one is unfamiliar to me.
Yes.
Nice clothes.
He has a few bad habits, let's say.
I mean, that's a little unfair, but all right.
You see the guard actually leans over, like, kind of towering over you.
Mm-hmm.
You stay visible.
All the time?
I guess they would take invisibility very seriously around Jessamine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, any guard that sees someone pop up invisible right in front of them, they're like, wait a second.
Don't like you. So the popcorn only has 9 carbs in it. For
So you fascinating. You see that the guard turns and says to his companion,
Digga, stay here. Watch them. Especially that one.
Just smiling a bit.
I will return, inform Jessamine of your arrival, and we shall see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now you pulled a little bird out and start.
You guys have any kebabs?
the bird itself has a small tuxedo.
I mean, it's got to look the part. Right?
Yeah.
That's adorable. Francis, what are you?
Can I make the bird invisible? Is that okay?
The lounge dog.
So 5 minutes pass by, and then sure enough, the guard comes back with what looks like a kind of a cowed look.
Please, let us not... I apologize for wasting your time. Please, come in.
No problem, man.
Thank you.
Nod and follow.
So you are guided in, and sure enough, you are returned up the stairs, past the sort of the fountains and plinths and recesses and the sort of the serpentine kind of motif.
Appreciated.
And you head to the same room that you visited Jessamine in last. Only she is no longer in her bed. You can see that she is actually standing in front of a full-length mirror. She is... there are 2 attendants that are slowly, it looks like, unraveling the bandages that she wore, that you saw her wearing previously, and are working to sort of apply
A salve.
ointment, salve of some kind, and then redress the bandages. And it's very clear that she is doing this. There's not a sense of modesty here. She's just sort of out in the open. She's letting them do this thing, so you can see sort of parts of her naked form. And you can clearly see that the skin is decaying.
Would I believe that this usually resulted in a death curse?
Or leprosy.
Give me a medicine
Some
check.
other.
Let's see.
Yeah, because we didn't tell them when we came back.
Yeah.
I don't know if you told them on the way over or
19.
not, Lyonel.
Nice.
What'd you say?
19.
19. Damn. Having heard descriptions of what the death curses, their effects are, and having seen a little bit of it,
the Harper or other.
Having seen a little bit of it back in Baldur's Gate, you know, in the details of your friend's death, Boz Ridhag, you realize that that looks if that's not the death curse at work, then that is some kind of serious flesh-eating disease that's like native to Chult. You know what I mean? So odds are good that is the work of the death curse.
Though I wouldn't be surprised that there's a flesh-eating disease.
I mean, it's not unheard of, not uncommon, but
leprosy is a thing.
Yeah,
super leprosy.
But you'd guess, given this sort of look of symptoms, yeah.
And the fact that she's extremely powerful, and if it was something that she could cure, it would have.
She probably would have done so already. Exactly. Yeah. There would have been some kind of extraordinary circumstance to prevent her from curing an average sort of jungle disease or something, right? Yeah.
Jungle fever.
All right. Well, that's incurable. Right. As is jungle love. Yeah. So you hear she doesn't even look at you again. She's sort of looking in the mirror, sort of in a kind of an unfocused way, and she says, "Come in, make yourselves at home."
Come in and just mostly kind of like averting gaze, not completely away from, but like keeping her in the corner of the eye.
To what do I owe the pleasure of your visit?
We were interested in making our way out into the jungle and had heard some stories of a local a foreign mercenary group working locally, the Flaming Fists.
Yes, I've heard of them.
We've been told it is recommended by some to get a rite of exploration from them. I was curious what your opinion on the matter was.
She gives sort of a deep inhale. Fuck 'em. They're foreigners. They are self-righteous. They are cruel. They're unnecessary. If you're willing to oppose them, more power to you. Is it a smart move not to purchase this charter of exploration? No. Of course. But it is a choice. And if you have morals or principles, I would suggest you hold to them.
I'm going to shoot a glance over to Emanuel.
One thing I will say, however, is that the Flaming Fist is muscular, if you will. They are many, and they are considerably powerful, at least in a martial sense. To oppose them without significant support or preparation would be suicidal.
Yes. It seems odd that such a military force would be allowed here. Do they have some backing?
My understanding is that some of the merchant princes, not openly, but surreptitiously allow their presence in the jungle as a means of keeping the undead and various other troublesome elements at bay. And so they are trading one evil for another.
I see.
Its fur is so soft.
I should look over to you. That basically says anything else.
You see that the attendants are almost done with their sort of rebandaging. They finish sort of around the neck area and then reapply sort of Jessamine sort of heavy cloak and everything like that. And then she sort of very slowly, deliberately, with some solid steps, as if she is... There's the sense that she is almost like she's learning to walk again. is sort of very slowly making her way towards the three of you.
Okay. I'll make eye contact at this point. We've come here in hopes to end the death curse. And to that end, we will need to start venturing out into the jungles and trying to find wherever the source of it is. If you have any information...
You have my full support.
Excellent. If there's anything we can do for you out there, please let us know.
She sort of cocks her head slightly. There is something that you can do for me. A favor for a favor. Here's what I propose.
This escaped again.
Yeah, Leon.
Oh.
Out in the jungle, I frequently send parties to attend to my business needs. Unfortunately, I cannot attend to the entirety and the complexity of my holdings from within the city itself. The jungle must be contended with. And so, I frequently send out these expeditions, and one of them has been due to return. Is past due to return, in fact. The last report I heard from them through one of the explorers. He uses a sending spell, you understand, to communicate with me regularly. That they had run into some kind of trouble with the local wildlife, and they were having difficulty accomplishing their task. Naturally, this made me very upset.
Understandable.
And my patience with them had been growing thin to begin with.
I'll start to get my bag for my map. You know, if there's any attendants giving me the sour eye.
Yeah, to go slowly.
There are guards outside, but they're not looking
inside.
in.
Do you know which direction they were headed or which location? This is an incomplete map. But...
She gestures out a weak hand and takes the map. Here. Last I understood, 20 miles upstream from Camp Vengeance. See here? And she points at this place here.
Oh, here. Do you have those little sticky note tabs that you had before? That might be...
Yeah, she says about 20 miles upstream of Camp Vengeance, along the bank of the Soshinstar. You should find the expedition there.
Thank you.
That will necessitate some travel on your part, but not very much. You should find it an excellent introductory course to the education that is the jungle. If you are able to meet with my expedition, provided they are still alive, and solve their little problem, I will be indebted to you. Our roles will be reversed.
I know what I'm eating.
That sounds amenable.
Also, if that expedition is still alive, you are free to relieve them of their charter of exploration.
Understood.
And send them back here.
Oh boy.
If they are no longer alive, well, no one's using that charter now, are they?
Understood.
Let me be very clear. Regardless of the presence of this former expedition, I expect the job to be handled. Should not take you very long at all to handle it. It concerns some elements of my trade that can only be found in the jungle, and which I require.
If a guide were to figure out this location, would that be unadvisable, or if we had a guide with us, that would be fine?
Provided you could swear to that guide's secrecy, yes.
Or if you had a guide in your employ and you could offer?
If only I was so fortunate. It turns out that our friend Chobo has an iron grip on guides and explorers, and so all I have at my employ are spies and cutthroats. Helpful, yes, but not amongst the jungle.
Oh, if I wasn't playing this character.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's all we need for now.
Thank you for the information.
Thank you for your service.
No, not the shoe.
Give a deep bow and
Slight nod.
turn to leave.
I also give a deep bow, but she's looking visibly uncomfortable.
Give you just like a slight pat on the back.
I've just been waiting for her to at some point in time be like, and I need you to kill them. And be like, alright, we're going, bye. Crap.
She actually, so Lyonel, you bow, and a lot of you start to leave, and as you turn away to leave, you hear Jessamine say, "Go on, say it."
There was some implication of murder in there, and I'm not exactly comfortable with that.
I find your notion of comfort quaint, but I will make it clear that I have not, nor will I sanction, the murder of this expedition.
Thank you.
You will either help them, or you will bury them. Either way, it will be the jungle and the jungle only that will claim them.
I mean, that's the implication.
Is that clear?
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Crystal.
Very well. Anything else itching at the back of your throat?
Not at all.
Excellent. If you find my expedition, tell them I'm disappointed.
Of course.
And with nothing further, you are escorted out of the villa.
Good thing I know a thing about graves.
Yeah, the look that you that Emanuel gives you is just.
Takde either didn't hear it or doesn't want to deal with it. Just focused on the road ahead.
You know, maybe I was misinterpreting the situation about the murder of the expedition members of hers. However, I kind of thought there was a clear implication that if we used the guy, that he should not come back.
No, it's more of if you can buy them off, then it's fine. But
Well, it's close enough. I don't think we'll have to worry about it.
if you cannot buy their secrecy, then it's better to go without one.
Yes.
It is not. For it would be unwise to have one if you cannot buy them. Then there is a loose end.
Well,
Then she would start implying.
yes. Since
I assume
This-
she implies with paper writs too.
Yes.
Okay. The thing is, since this other merchant prince has a stranglehold on the guides, we'll say, I doubt you could buy their silence.
I
at
agree.
least from him.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think we need to do this before we hire a guide proper. And it's what sounds like 2, maybe 3 days journey.
If it's not too far out, we should be hopefully safe.
Well, let's not say safe. Let's call it a calculated risk.
Yes, very calculated.
Yeah.
But then if we get the Ritz, then we're ready for the full journey with the guide. And that would be all our preparations.
I'm sure the guides would prefer we have a writ anyways, so...
Their life would be in danger without it.
Yes.
It would be a lot more expensive without it.
Yeah. Let's let Ruby know, and then I suppose we've got the rest of the night off. So we'll come back all fancy dressed.
Do you come back before I have to leave? I guess it's the real question.
Yeah.
Cool, great.
Mm-hmm.
So we come back. You see, Emanuel is still visibly shaken.
Oh, well, takes quite a bit. I mean, you did. Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. You did just see Jessamine
in full glory.
Kind of, yeah.
That's
neither here nor there.
Yes.
Well, to put it simply, we've got another job lined up, favor for a favor, and it can get us one of these charters of exploration. Okay. Nobody has to die either, unless they're already dead.
Why don't you just start from the beginning?
In which case they can't die because they're already dead.
Yes.
You can't wake up dead.
Tell that to Megadeth.
And yeah, just relay the whole experience.
Like standing in the hallway in a bathrobe because I was like in the middle of getting changed. So any guide I am able to procure from Joel needs to come with us after we finish this.
Yes.
I don't think they would accept our mission without a charter.
Plus, then we get the benefit of saying it's not our first time out in the jungle.
Alright. Sounds good. We'll leave tomorrow morning?
Sure.
Whoops!
Nah.
Knock on the door.
I come out, I look like a fucking 10.
Yeah.
Is my hair okay?
You're gonna get a lot of eyes.
I have a wig.
Oh. Like, you look very much not like yourself.
That's what I was going for.
Not my taste, but you look fine.
There was no need to throw that out. This is cruel.
The
dude that brought to my room still passed out on my bed.
Yeah, I mean,
he has
real
a
hard you didn't kick him out, so he's still there.
Still there. Thinking about what a great time he had last night.
Maybe dead. May actually be dead.
Alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had cast a charm person on him a long time ago. It's just, not really. No.
So, relay this information to Wooks. We probably shouldn't let on to Jobel that we're going into the jungle first.
Absolutely.
Then in a few days we will need a guide if he's willing to give us one.
Probably a week's time.
Week, yeah, perhaps a week. Let's go for a week.
Okay. I mean, I think we could do a bit sooner than that.
You think?
No more than 3 days, I would imagine. I'm not sure what else we're gonna do to keep ourselves busy in here. Yeah, it's 20 miles, so it'll be 4 days, 5 days-ish.
Yeah.
A little under a week. Keep it big. But alright. I have to finish doing feminine things now.
Good luck.
Such a broad category. So, the time is fast approaching for your dinner with Jobel.
Borrow Emanuel's makeup and then go, I don't know what to do with any of this, and just give it back.
No, I'll take care of it.
Oh, oh God, you really don't have to.
Give me a dexterity check, please.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, she really doesn't have to. It's okay.
No,
Do it.
she has to.
For fuck's sake.
Or
Can
is
I
there
at least say I'm
performance?
proficient at this?
Yeah, that's fair.
Can she at least take advantage since she's doing my makeup?
No.
Damn it!
Would this be a performance check?
Oh,
No.
21.
Nice.
Very good. So,
Or no, 20.
well, in that case.
Oh, wow. God damn it.
Flip the table. Well,
Non-natural.
given Emmanuel's, sort of
Yeah, makeup
affiliation with Soon and her ability to sort of, make her own makeup, she does a pretty good job of, sharpening your features and making you stand out.
Great.
You feel like the
If he's able to get an erection, he will have one.
Joe Ball.
I say that out loud.
All right.
I want to go back inside now.
Well, at least from one of you.
You feel like the nerdy girl who has been transformed into a beautiful woman by some asshole on a dare.
You were the
From
Rachel
the rest
Lee
of
Cook
the-
of our
Yes,
expedition.
if you will.
Fantastic.
They just took your glasses off and they're like, you're done.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we need.
People can't be attractive with glasses.
Apparently.
Fact.
Well, I realized I never actually...
Your hair is also down now. Let's be.
Oh, right, yeah,
true.
down.
Hair's
It's
down,
straightened or
glasses off.
curled or something, Did we ever talk about what everybody looks like? We did for Volo and then...
Takde is very
I
straightforward.
constantly change my look, so I don't really have like a.
Yeah, you're changelinging.
Like
without
every time I go to my room, I'm looking different.
somebody different.
I had someone.
Okay, well, Ruby looks like this, except with yellow eyes.
Yeah, we did this.
I don't remember doing this for Ruby, so, okay.
I feel like we
I just now found
discussed
the
this.
picture of what she
Maybe.
looks
I know
like.
we definitely did for Eclipse Phase.
True. Yes. But I thought we had done this as well.
No.
Well, either way.
A refresher.
So the time has come for you to head out and make your way to Jobel's mansion.
What does the fine clothing look like precisely?
The fine clothing is it's in the style, in the sort of the Chilton
So I
style.
probably feel a little
So it's a
bit
lot
more
of
comfortable.
I mean, it is sort of like light fabrics and sort of draped over, the sort of
some light jewelry.
traditional, some light jewelry hanging and sort of like finely woven and patterned sort of African style, garments.
Nice.
Okay, well, I'll make the executive decision that it's all shades of green. And then I will go.
Okay, you look like
I
a cucumber.
look like a girl.
So, Wooks and Ruby, you arrive at Jobel's Villa. The guards, they recognize you. They very quickly sort of sweep you in.
Before we
and-
go inside, I will pull Wook's aside and go, don't do anything to piss him off. Don't steal anything. And if you think you shouldn't say it, don't say it.
I will have turkey leg in my mouth the whole time.
Perfect.
But who's turkey?
Ooh.
Just
They-
smile and nod.
Push you through this via, and again, sort of opulent, well decorated. There are people sort of hanging out in sort of the main space, actively drinking and carousing and that sort of thing. And you head actually out behind the villa, where in a kind of a sort of a patio fashion, if you will, there has been sort of an ornate table laid out with all manner of fruits and vegetables and fresh meats and so on, and mugs of tej and all manner of feast-like preparations. And sure enough, you see this gentleman here.
Lenny Kravitz.
You see Lenny Kravitz. You see this gentleman sitting already at the head of the table. Next to him is a foreign-looking man with sort of like kind of a rough appearance. He's got kind of like he's got kind of a surly look about him with sort of narrow eyes, and he is seated at Jobel's right hand, and he's not partaking in any of the food or any of the drink. He's just sort of sitting there quietly, and he is looking at the two of you with a with a discerning eye.
I will bow and greet them in both Cholton and Common.
Okay, yeah. Jobal replies in Common. Now, there's no need to bandy about the jungle language. Please, have a seat.
Oh boy.
Is he actually from here?
Yes.
Yeah,
Makes it worse.
Because he's one of the few who like worked up to become a merchant prince.
Yeah.
He
got
was
the
a
money.
guide, and then his party that he was guiding stumbled upon like a huge
Treasure.
cache of treasure, and he was
He's
the only one that came back.
survived. Yeah.
Exactly.
He killed the rest of them. Is the
Maybe.
Don't make assumptions on the man.
Directly or
Jeez.
indirectly, there's a pretty good chance.
He asked if they were going to go his way, and they did.
So I will.
Please, enjoy yourselves. Take whatever you like. Just have a good time.
I'm a dessert starter.
You'll see at the rear of the table there.
I will steel myself and sit down next to Jobel. And
So, champion racer.
I suppose so.
I got third. Guess I'm just scooping desserts onto a.
Who the fuck is this?
He was my riding companion. I felt it inappropriate to not bring him. He took the loss kind of personally.
I see. If he release himself on any of my furniture, if he ruins anything, I will have him killed.
That's fair.
Okay. There's nothing against it.
No.
If you did that, I would have you killed as well.
Sure, I don't plan to relieve myself from furniture because I'm a human.
You'd be surprised.
I guess.
I sit back down right at the end of that and just like. Start shoveling pie in my mouth.
So you have the look of someone who is from this part of the world.
I am. The jungle language is my native language.
I see. Well, there's no need for it now. We're all common speakers. Yeah?
Even him, because he ain't saying much.
Oh my god!
He kind of gives you a sort of. He's trying to burn a hole in. He looks at you with the.
Just laser beams.
He looks at you in the way that a 60-year-old British schoolmaster would look at you, having suggested that maybe we just not do the maths today. And you see Jobel sort of claps him on the shoulder, but just little reaction from the man. He says, "Don't mind his son. He's my man. You see, he's my confidant. He speaks when is necessary. You see."
I will nod in his direction. If
He
I,
sort of nods slightly,
Okay.
and then immediately looks back at Wooks.
Tactically looking for that turkey leg.
waves of regret washing over me. Waves upon waves
Of regret.
of regret. Yes.
Man, I'm glad we didn't have it.
So I hear you are. You'll forgive me.
This is
I have
great.
been traveling for quite a while and just come home to Scholt.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I hear you were quite the adventurer.
Yes. Yes, I am, or I was. I don't do much adventuring anymore. I have my people do that for me if I need it. Otherwise, I'm more of an advisor, a mentor. Huh? I don't go out in the jungle anymore. I've done my time.
Like it's jail or something.
I mean, out in this jungle?
You see him popping grape in his mouth.
I mean, you must have your fair share of stories about your time in the jungle then.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Not many people come back alive more than once.
It's a jungle out there.
Can I make a roll to just like try to get him to keep talking about himself and like open up?
Persuasion.
You can do a persuasion check. Yeah.
I guess I can try because you're giving me nothing here.
Well, he's not. He's getting drunk and eating grapes.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Let me see what I
You
can.
never really asked him a question yet.
I asked him like 4.
No.
Can I reroll that, please?
Yeah, if you want to.
Thanks. I rolled a 4 twice, so 4 it is.
Jungle.
So
Jungle languages.
Jobo seems content to just sort of like. He's not even really. He's only half paying attention to what you're saying and what Wooks is doing. He's just sort of like,
Being a polite.
a Roman emperor, if you will. He's just sort of like fully enjoying the sumptuousness of this feast.
Well, I've finished my dessert plate. Any suggestions for the first thing I should eat there, Joby?
Here, get the fuck out.
You're alright.
Yeah. By the end of the evening, you're going to be this guy's like favorite man on the planet.
I have position. It's
You should
just
try. We have some manga leaves from the jungle. We grind them and then filter the water through them. Makes a pungent tea. You should try. Should go in the the kitchen. Yeah, talk to Abu.
Absolutely. Get up and go for the tea.
The entire time, Azon is just following you with his eyes.
I'm wondering if you're going to come back from the kitchen or if we're just going to kill you back there.
Yeah, stay in the public eye.
So
Well, he
I
didn't
will-
have the orc following him.
I will
so-
just continue asking him questions about the jungle and like his time here, the merchant friends, trying to engage either of them in conversation.
He seems 100% committed to talking about life in the city rather than in the jungle. He is actively avoiding any conversation about it. The extent he is saying is essentially that he doesn't really deal with that anymore. His guides and everything that he employs are responsible for that. And if you wanted to know anything about the jungle, you should
Talk to
talk to
them.
them.
We're trying to have just a nice dinner, having a good time. I don't want to talk about the jungle.
No one wants to talk about jungle.
He got out.
I come back with 2. I set one down for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take a drink.
It's good.
Needs a little kick. And just pour a little Tej in there.
Yeah, you see Joe Ball
That's a
actually.
good idea.
Joe Ball actually smacks Azon sort of on the shoulder. It's like,
You see? He takes the initiative, huh? You can loosen up a little bit, huh?
At this point, I'm just looking at Azon.
I'm going to put alcohol in my cocaine juice.
So it is. Listen. I am no fool. You know, I do not think that you have come to this feast with me because you are so entranced by my personality or my stature. You are here because you want something. Well, let's get to it. Huh? That way we can get this out of the way and get on to the joy of just enjoying ourselves at dinner. Huh?
I heard there was Tej. That's why I'm here.
We're going out into the jungle.
I appreciate you. You are a simple man.
You're a good guy, Joby.
We're going out into the jungle ourselves and in search of a guide.
But you'll not find a guide out in the jungle.
I know.
Oh, I see. You meant to get before you go in the jungle.
I did.
Okay. I was about to say, other way around. Very stupid.
Yeah, it's not going to work very well.
Okay.
We're going to be dead before we find a guide in the jungle.
Well, what kind of guide are you looking for? What kind of skills are you interested in?
Well, survival,
Someone knows the water would be good.
the water.
Isn't there a nice river that we need to traverse?
Oh, sure, but most of it's just jungle and swamp.
Well, we kind of can't tell most of it.
Fair.
Someone who is experienced with the jungle itself. Someone who is not their first time going out.
All of my guides are experienced. If they were not, I would not hire them. You're not talking to an amateur here, huh? And neither will any of my guides be one.
Well, then what would you suggest, having been out there yourself?
not me.
And the whole time, I am like surreptitiously watching his confidant person because
He's been sitting there stock still this entire time, just watching.
Okay.
Hey, Sean, who is available? You see him look over to the prince and then for a moment sort of process what he's just said.
What are you doing?
Azaka, Echo, Farol,
Oops.
It dropped.
Hugh,
Dropped.
Musharib, and River. Very good. Okay. Any of those people, what do you find? They are all experienced. They are all good explorers of the jungle. But you will probably want to meet them. Not take my word for it.
I think that would be good. We are a motley crew ourselves.
Huh?
We are a lot of very diverse people in my group, as you can see from the differences between the two of us.
Yes, very white.
Not white. Most of them are white.
I'm blue.
That's true.
All right, well, I am relieved. I thought it should perhaps be some kind of big ask. You come in here and you say, hey, my grandmother wants to be a queen of the old city. Can you do something about this? It's her 90th birthday. Blah, 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 blah.
Who
This
lives
is-
that long?
This is easy. Ezon, I will have Ezon keep in contact with you. You come back when you are ready to select your guide. He will accompany you and introduce you to our current stable of guides. Yeah.
Thank you. What is the what is the rate for your guides?
It depends on the guide. They are their own people. They kick back a percentage to me, of course, but otherwise they are contractors. They charge what they charge, and they offer what they offer.
How close can I get to the food?
Once I introduce you to them, you deal with them. I am out of... My fingers are out of the pie.
Pie. I'm gonna have a slice of pie before I go.
You're not going to fit in your tux anymore.
That's somebody else's problem.
I didn't pay for him.
Don't you shame him. If he
Yeah.
wants to eat, let him eat.
Body shaming me.
No, it's
That's morning
fine.
wood's
I
problem.
just, your wig's starting to pop off there.
It's alopecia. That's not cool.
It's not alopecia. He's a liar.
It's close enough.
It almost made it.
I don't care.
Good guy, Joby.
Mine is weak too.
I'm bored of this.
Great. I'll just knock back an entire thing at 10. Be like, cool, me too.
Now is the time when you leave.
Yeah.
If I
Nice
wasn't
meeting
clear enough, get the fuck out.
I try to shake the other guy's hand.
Ezon, he just
Yeah.
sort of looks at the hand and then looks at you.
Cool. I guess we're gonna keep in contact. Right.
Azon, where would you like us to come meet you at when we are ready to go in the jungle?
You see that Ezon again sort of processes what you've just said for a moment.
Just lean back.
And then he very quickly says, the Grand Souk.
The what? Can you spell it for me, please?
Grand, Grand, Souk. Now you know
Okay.
that the Grand Souk is one of the three big markets, three big beating hearts of Port-Nyanzar, right? There's the Jewel Market, there's the Red Bazaar, which you've already heard of, and there's the Grand Souk. Grand Souk's the grandest of them all, right?
What's the name?
Like people from the Sword Coast regularly come over there to hawk their wares,
Definitely a watchman.
So I know what the Grand Souk is already.
Yeah, you know exactly what he's talking about.
How do you spell
I
his
think it's the icing from
confidant's
the
name?
scouts.
Aazon.
Aazon. Ah,
Yeah, Aazon.
almost got it.
It was either Azon or Aazon, but I don't think
Azon.
like Aaron.
Azon.
Yeah.
You done fucked up.
Can I do an insight check to see how much he actually hates Jobel?
What, Azon?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, make an insight check. Oh, a disadvantage, please.
Because you just drank all of them.
Yeah, he's so stoic.
Well, that's probably both, to be honest.
17.
Damn.
You're not getting the vibe that he hates Jokul. You're getting the vibe that this is a deadly serious man, with emphasis on the deadly. He is, it seems to you, perfectly suited for the job that he is in. He is closer to a consigliere, if you will, right? He's there to take care of the job, to not trouble his master or boss or whatever with the details. And for all intents and purposes, he's the guy making the machine run. Right.
He's just the financier. He's the one running it.
Yeah, Joe Ball seems more
He's
like
the
a figurehead.
Yeah,
Right.
I was picking it up.
And a
just wondered
very
how much-
happy figure.
And yeah, he's enjoying it,
Oh, yeah.
clearly.
But he
As
doesn't
long as
want...
he's just fooded, he doesn't care.
Like
He's
Ben
he's
Kingsley
rich.
is the Mandarin.
The Mandarin, yeah.
I said the Mandalorian.
Ben Kingsley is the Mandalorian. What the fuck?
It's actually just Baby Yoda. Then.
Do we need a writ from you for the Grand Souk, or
Oh, are you talking to Azon?
Jobal and
Or Jobal.
Azan both? I'll look at both of them.
It's a free port. Go where you like.
This one. Right?
Stupid, right? Yeah. You can go wherever you
She
want.
said she grew up here.
How long have you been away?
I'm
The
just
jungle
looking at
language
Azan
and stupid.
at this point.
What?
It's
I'm
hard
just gonna
not
look
seeing
at Azan
first
at
they
this
could
point.
see.
Azon shakes his head.
Thank you. Well, it was certainly enlightening to meet you, Jobal.
I loved it.
Yeah, well, we had a good time. I hope you had a good time. We had great food. Never see you again.
Sounds good.
Goodbye.
It sounded like we were going to curry his favor.
Sounds like no one's gonna curry his favor except the fucking grapes.
Yep.
He likes me.
Yes, but what can you get out of that relationship aside
Time
More
will
admittedly,
food.
Time will
more
tell.
food?
You walk outside and just take your wig off. Fucking jungle.
He was nice.
It's like glued on, and you're like,
Whatever the name is for phony in Chilton, I'll just like say that and then spit on the ground and keep going. When we're away from his
I
villa.
think it might be Jabal.
Yeah, right?
So, you leave Jobal's Villa, you're escorted out. You can still hear the sound of laughter and tankards being hit together and everything, and the enjoyment of the feast
Who else was there?
from the distance. And now at that table, it was just the four of you, but it seems like there were festivities going on. It's like a whole
Oh,
house.
okay.
It's clearly a
The
party
VIP
going on.
table at like the giant courtyard
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Cool.
Probably has it every night.
So as the two of you are heading back to the Thundering Lizard, you realize that you're being followed.
Surprising though.
And
Tell us
not
about the
and not stealthily either. There are two figures, both Chilton men, who are dressed in a kind of like leather armors, basically, who are actively like attempting to close the distance between the two of you and the two of them.
I just stop and
Yeah, I'll just stop.
turn around. How's it going, fellas?
Can we help you?
You see, they plant themselves in front of you, and they say, out of the authority of the Potenzaru Guard, you are under arrest.
Uh-oh.
For what?
Suspicion of child endangerment and murder.
What are you talking about?
We have reports that you were around the refuse pit in the old city.
Yes, Jessamine sent us out to deal with the monster that was taking the children.
That sounds very likely.
Yeah, you can go and go talk to her. I'll take you there.
We're going to talk to you.
We're doing that right now.
You come with us.
You just used to this?
I'm a little drunk.
You see one of the guards.
And I'm kind of used to it.
The other guard actively starts sort of binding
Just
your wrists
loose,
together.
please, because
He makes it tighter.
Okay, yeah, weak wrist, but that's cool.
I'm gonna get rope burn.
Lead the way.
Your hands, please.
No thanks. Lead the way.
You see it lowers his spear.
Your hands, please.
Reminder: my hands are already bound, so I'm not much help in this situation.
Do I look like I have any weapons on me? What do you expect me to do?
Expect you to comply.
Not really my strong suit.
Ruby, put your hands out.
Very sort of forcibly puts them together,
And you
binds
thought
them.
Wooks was going to get killed.
I mean, he still could.
Nice young.
He turns the one guard who spoke turns the two of you around, and then clearly at spear point, they sort of prod you forward.
Walk. This way.
May I ask where we're going?
Headquarters.
Of?
Oh boy.
Oh, are these guys Flaming Fist? I'm not there.
In the city?
We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Because there isn't like a unified police force, right? So
There's not.
Yeah.
That's the point.
yeah.
So it's someone that doesn't like Jessamine, is what it is.
Good chance.
Maybe.
We're going to find that out next time.
Come on. We're already skipping next weekend.
The long wait.
I tell you what. If
It's only 2:30. We can get a little.
yeah, let's
You
do
can do a
another
few more
30
scenes.
minutes for the part of the campaign that I have no preparation for.
Alright, okay.
You know?
Okay. Okay.
Let me just.
All
let me
right,
just
fine, fight!
We start fighting now. They'll take it.
Shit, our hands are bound. Fuck.
It just means all your attacks are two-handed. Right?
I have a crossbow.
That's what
So, I mean-
that's what our week off is for me to actually get my ducks in a row and make sure that we're not flying by the seat of our pants.
Now I can't leave because
Nope. You are here forever.
Well, you were going to be back later, so it's not like,
It's not that much of a difference.
it's not that much of a difference.
You already had your Culvers. You're
Of
fine.
course, if you can't leave, I can't leave.
Right.
That's fair.
Well, you
Minor
could
problem.
leave. It's just not a good idea.
Yeah.
they'll all walk up.
Oh,
Been
God.
the
In this
snowing and
weather?
whatnot.
Oh. This weather would be a legitimate health hazard. If it stopped snowing, hopefully.
No, it has not. It's picked up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's oh good. So it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh,
I
boy.
see it from.
Okay, seeds have been planted, jobs have been accepted, information has been shared. So now you have an idea of what needs to happen next before you can get into the jungle proper.
We've
We got
this
some
whole-
railroads.
Yep. We've got this whole maybe busting some folks out of jail, or what accounts for it. Maybe spending that favor of Jessamine's before we know it.
Yeah, well, we'd actually have to do her a favor before we did that.
I mean, we've worked on the whole we'll do work for you. Well, yeah, usually after the fact. But.
You scratch my back, I'll stab yours.
Yep. Yeah.
We never did go back to the woman that had the book that increased your intelligence.
Yeah, but that sounds like something that's going to take some time.
Yeah.
20,000 gold, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20,000 gold job is.
I'm assuming we're going to need a guide for that, but that's admittedly completely an assumption.
I'm sorry, Francis. Even though you got more nestled in.
Oh, so comfortable though. Curled up like a cat. It is fun to try to load your bag with a dog on your lap.
Well, again, thank you all for coming.
Well, thanks for
Thank you
having
for
us.
running.
Yeah.
Definitely enjoyed the banter and the characters. We do really good. I don't even know how to properly describe them, but those small one-off characters, able to give them just enough personality that you're almost like,
You can.
yeah, I kind of want to go back to them and like chat up that guard a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot more, just a little bit more.
Yeah, you do well at like being able to get a good stable of personality pretty fast.
Even though all of my children guards sound exactly the same because I have like
Just the dialect.
one
Yeah.
African voice.
It's got
Yeah.
that like
Afro
almost
French.
that underlying.
Yeah, there's a
French
little
to
bit
it.
this like French Guiana kind of thing.
Because I could hear the little bit of French, a little bit more like
The nasal.
of the words.
Yeah.
With Jobel, I was trying to relax that more so that there was more French coming out because he's a little bit more traveled. So,
Makes sense.
well, it was a weird session. I'm sorry if anyone was bored.
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoy when we get the moments to kind of like bounce between parts of the group to see what's going on.
There's just a lot of
I'm just ready to fight some shit.
there's just a lot of stuff
that'll happen.
to. There
Build
were
up.
we had
yeah.
to put the wheels on the wagon before we actually started going on the wagon. So
But I mean, now we can basically see the roadmap for how to get into the jungle.
yeah,
And it seems like, if I'm going to ballpark it, if we don't count the little mission we're running out there, it's like 3-4 sessions maybe. And that depends on how long
to get into the jungle proper,
Yeah.
like on your own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Or
actually
with a guy.
exploring
Yeah.
Yeah,
new tiles kind of thing.
That's kind of what it feels like. Because I figure maybe a session to wrap up what's going on in city and either prep or actually start making our way out there. Probably another session to either finish things up there and make our way back. And then probably a third for some extra things going on in the city as we prepare to actually set out.
yeah.
That's the rough
Assuming we're
feeling.
not like arrested and tried and killed.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, you were arrested. That happened.
Yeah.
How fast can you run?
That's a valid point, yeah. Like, build a
I
monk
mean, I
character,
could
just
like
outrun
shift
everything.
and get out of the bonds, but
Because it's the raptor race.
I mean, I feel like you could get a character,
Like, well, I guess you just have to
Fast
outrun
enough.
the person next to you.
technically speaking, yes.
Just need
Yeah, like if it was running from a bear. You just
Yes.
have to run faster than the person behind.
you just get their kneecap, and then some of the creatures will just start feasting.
don't give Wooks ideas because he's
So that would be like a monk with 2 levels of robes, so
Yep.
we could do that triple dash.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Or you just get like the stun, and you stun someone.
Fighter trip somebody.
Yeah, you could do that too. Because you can also do that with monk as well. You can shove, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as we mentioned,
Can't do next week.
next Saturday is